It is a staple of our tables, a source of comfort and sustenance for billions of people across the globe. The humble potato. We boil it, we bake it, we fry it, and we mash it. But beneath its earthy skin lies a history far more ancient and dramatic than we could ever have imagined. This is not just a story about a vegetable. It is an epic tale of chance, survival, and a surprising love affair that took place millions of years ago. Long before humans walked the earth, a chance encounter in the wilds of ancient South America set the stage for one of nature's most successful creations. It's a story that has remained hidden, buried not in the soil, but deep within the potato's very own genetic code. The journey to uncover this secret takes us back a staggering 9 million years. It was a time when the world was vastly different, and the continents were still settling into their modern-day positions. In this prehistoric landscape, two distinct plant families were quietly evolving. One was the ancestor of our modern tomato, a lineage known for its vibrant fruits. The other was a more obscure group called A tuberosum, a hardy plant native to the same South American region. They were relatives, having shared a common ancestor millions of years prior, but they had long since gone their separate ways, each adapting to its own corner of the world. They were not destined to remain separate forever. Astonishingly, new research has revealed that these two ancient lineages met, and against all odds, interbred. Imagine a world untouched by human hands, where pollen, carried by the wind or an unsuspecting insect, drifted from a tomato-like flower to an tuberosum plant. This was not a simple cross-pollination. It was a hybridization event, a rare and powerful force in evolution. This chance mating created a brand new lineage, a genetic blend of two distinct parents. This new plant family, which we now call Potota, was the direct ancestor of every wild and cultivated potato species on our planet today. It was a botanical love story, written in DNA. This remarkable discovery, published on July 31st, 2025, changes everything we thought we knew about the potato. Previously, its origins were a mystery, its evolutionary path shrouded in time. Now, thanks to the power of modern genomics, we can read the story of its creation. Scientists analyzed the complete genetic makeup of over 100 different plant species, piecing together a family tree that spans millions of years. What they found was not a straight line of descent, but a beautiful and complex merging of two separate evolutionary streams. The potato, it turns out, is the child of two very different parents, inheriting a unique combination of traits that would ultimately set it on a path to global domination. To understand how this ancient hybridization occurred, we must look even further back in time. Around 13 or 14 million years ago, a single ancestral plant species began to diverge, splitting into two distinct paths. One path led to the tomato lineage, which today includes 17 living species, most famously the common tomato we enjoy in salads. The other path led to the tuberosum lineage, a smaller family with only 3 surviving species. For 5 million years, these two groups evolved in isolation. Yet, they retained just enough genetic similarity, a lingering memory of their shared ancestry, that they were not entirely incompatible. They were like distant cousins who could, under the right circumstances, still produce offspring. When these two lineages finally crossed paths again, the result was a genetic marvel. The offspring, the first of the Potota lineage, was a mosaic. Its DNA was not a simple blend, but a patchwork quilt of genetic material from both its parents. Researchers, using incredibly advanced analytical tools, were able to see this mosaic-like pattern clearly. It was as if someone had taken the genetic instruction books for a tomato and a tuberosum and carefully cut and pasted sections from each one to create a completely new manual for life. This genetic shuffling created possibilities that did not exist in either parent lineage alone. This process of hybridization is a powerful engine of evolution. While it is rare for two distinct species to produce viable, fertile offspring, when it does happen, the results can be spectacular. The new combination of genes can give rise to novel traits, allowing the hybrid organism to thrive in ways its parents could not. For the nascent potato lineage, this genetic lottery was a jackpot. It inherited a diverse toolkit of genes, some from its tomato-like ancestor, and some from its hardy ituberosome parent. This rich genetic inheritance provided the raw material for innovation, a platform from which entirely new features could be built. The evidence for this ancient union is written indelibly in the genome of every potato on Earth. The 128 plant genomes that were sequenced for this groundbreaking study told a consistent story. The potato lineage, which includes the familiar cultivated potato, Solanum tuberosum, and 107 other wild species, showed a near-even mix of genetic markers from the tomato and ituberosum groups. It was a definitive genetic fingerprint, proving that the potato is not the product of a slow, linear evolution from a single ancestor. Instead, it is the spectacular result of a single, transformative event. A moment of connection between two worlds that gave birth to a third. The most significant innovation to arise from this ancient love affair was, of course, the tuber. Neither of the parent lineages, the ancestral tomato or the ituberosum, possessed this remarkable adaptation. They produced fruits and seeds, but they did not have the ability to create these swollen, underground storage organs. The tuber was something entirely new, a feature born from the unique genetic cocktail created by the hybridization. It is this starchy, nutrient-packed structure that has made the potato so valuable to humans. But its original purpose was pure survival. It was a biological battery pack, a way to store energy and water through difficult times. The creation of the tuber was not a simple accident. It was the result of specific genes from both parents coming together and working in a new way. Researchers identified two key players in this evolutionary drama. A gene known as SP6A, which provides the crucial instructions on when to start forming a tuber, was inherited from the tomato lineage. In tomatoes, this gene family helps control flowering time, but in the new hybrid, it was repurposed for a completely different task. It became the trigger, the signal that tells the plant to divert its energy downwards, into the soil, to begin swelling its underground stems. However, the when signal was not enough. The plant also needed the how. For that, it turned to its other parent. A gene called IT1, which is directly involved in the physical development of the tuber, was contributed by the ituberosum lineage. This gene provided the fundamental building blocks, the molecular machinery needed to construct the starchy storage organ. It was a perfect collaboration. The tomato ancestor provided the switch, and the ituberosum ancestor provided the engine. Together, these two genes, and likely many others, formed a new genetic network that gave rise to the world's first potato tuber. This remarkable genetic synergy demonstrates the creative power of evolution. It is not always about the slow accumulation of tiny changes. Sometimes it is about remixing what is already there to create something revolutionary. The genes for tuber formation were not created from scratch. Instead, existing genes were co-opted and combined in a novel partnership. The result was a game-changing adaptation, a survival tool that would allow the new potato lineage to not only endure, but to flourish in environments that were hostile to its parents. The tuber was its ticket to a new world. The emergence of the tuber could not have come at a more opportune moment. During this period, between 8 and 9 million years ago, the South American continent was undergoing a dramatic geological transformation. The Andes Mountains were rising at a rapid rate, a process that created vast new habitats. These high-altitude environments were harsh and unforgiving. The air was thin, the soil was often poor, and the climate was characterized by cold, dry conditions and unpredictable weather. For most plants, this was a hostile frontier. But for the newly evolved potato lineage, it was an open invitation. The tuber gave the potato a decisive evolutionary advantage. It acted as an underground pantry and water tank, allowing the plant to survive long periods of drought and freezing temperatures that would kill its less prepared relatives. When conditions on the surface were unfavorable, the potato could retreat, drawing on the energy stored in its tuber to wait for better times. This resilience allowed the potato lineage to expand rapidly, colonizing the challenging new ecosystems of the rising Andes. It could grow where its ancestors, the tomato and a tuberosum, could not. This expansion into new territory was crucial for its development. This geographic separation also led to reproductive isolation. As populations of the new potato lineage spread throughout the mountainous terrain, they became separated from one another and, crucially, from their parent lineages down below. This isolation meant they no longer interbred with their ancestors, allowing the potato lineage to solidify its unique genetic identity. It was free to evolve on its own terms, diversifying into the vast array of species we see today. The mountains that presented a barrier to other plants became a cradle for the potato, protecting and nurturing its evolution into a distinct and successful group. This incredible 9-million-year journey, from a chance hybridization to the conquest of a mountain range, is a powerful testament to the ingenuity of life. The story of the potato, revealed by the tireless work of researchers like Sandra Knapp and Sanwen Huang, reminds us that evolution is not always a slow, steady march. It can be a story of sudden leaps, of surprising connections, and of adaptations that change the course of history for an entire lineage. The next time you hold a potato, remember the ancient romance and the geological upheaval that made it possible. You are holding not just a food, but a master of survival, a conqueror of mountains, and a 9-million-year-old evolutionary masterpiece.